I'd like to call the instruction committee to order. First item on the agenda is Pledge of Allegiance. Will you please?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item is the approval of the October 19th minutes.
Motion.
Any discussion, additions, deletions? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Yes.
There's a list of field trips in the agenda. Any comments, questions? Good on those? All right, New Hampshire Kid Governor. Right, our nominee down here.
Right here's fine.
Oh, right here? Okay.
This must be Zoe, right?
Yes, let me just do a quick introduction if I could. I've got the crew from Maple Street. I do want to introduce Dr. Mahoney and Mrs. DeVoyd as well, because I think they are going to give a little bit of context to Kid Governor.
Yeah.
And then Zoe will give her speech, and then if you have some questions for her, we'll have a chance for that.
Great.
Okay. So Kid Governor is a nationwide civics program, and it is now being participated in by, I believe it's about 7 states in the United States. It's 5th graders from around each state, so New Hampshire is a state that participates. And any school in New Hampshire is able to participate. We happen to be the only school in the Rochester School District doing it. We've been doing it now for 3 years. And this is the first time we have had a candidate that's made it to the finals. So, yay Zoe.
So I think it's important to note, so Zoe has made it to she's one of 7 students who have participated in this in the state, who have made it to the finalist part. So they'll be voting, I believe they've already voted this week, so they're gonna be releasing those results soon. So we're hoping Zoe will be elected Kid Governor. It would be amazing if that happens. If not, regardless of what occurs and how the election turns out, we're super proud of the work that she's done. I mean, the work that Mrs. DeVoyd puts into this is a lot of work every year. And I think the outcome will be we'll be heading to Concord.
Regardless, yeah.
Regardless of whether or not she's elected Kid Governor, they'll still be a part of the council. So we'll be able to go to Concord in January for the inauguration. So we're excited to be able to participate in that as well. So.
Mm-hmm.
So, Ms. Zoe, so they had to create a platform for their campaign, and Zoe, I'll hand it over to you.
Hi, I'm Zoe, and I'm one of the top 7 candidates for the 2024 Kid Governor. My platform is children's mental health. Did you know that 30.3% of New Hampshire's youth is struggling with mental health? I want to do something to change that. Here are my 3 ideas that I think can help children struggling with mental health issues. Number 1, I can make a blog post to help children find ways to calm themselves down if they are feeling anxious. Number 2, I would start a kindness club for people that want to spread kindness in the school. Idea number 3, I would start a program where the whole school gets a buddy from a different grade. You and your buddy every day will say kind stuff to each other in case they're having a bad day. I hope other 5th graders can acknowledge that children's mental health is an upsetting issue and it needs support and awareness. That's why I'm hoping to be your 2024 Kid Governor to prevent this problem.
All right.
So they were able to present this speech at the school level, and then Mrs. DeVoyd had to record, and we had to send in the video of Zoe presenting the speech, and that went into the state, and that's what they used to select the finalists for this program. So we're super.
And it's
super
voted
proud.
on only by 5th graders across the state, so no adults participate in the voting.
Great.
Do you have any questions, or?
If I may, just on that topic, is it just the 5th graders from the schools that participate, or from all 5th graders?
Just from the schools that participate.
Okay.
This is amazing, Zoe, and I agree with what Dr. Mahoney said. No matter what, you've done amazing. So I didn't catch the first one, but I caught the second and the third. So the second was Kindness Club, and the third one was a buddy throughout the school. So are we looking at incorporating those things no matter what happens? And are we looking at incorporating it through like all of the elementary schools?
I can't speak for all the elementary schools,
Correct.
but I mean, for us, every year we've done Kid Governor and the platforms that have been elected, we've looked to incorporate these ideas into our everyday work and even our MTSS rollouts. So this would be something that we would definitely be exploring for MTSS rollouts, and then making sure that we have the resources available to us to encourage the kids to promote this kindness and really make it just embedded into our everyday culture, which we're already doing, but this just kind of brings it to a whole new level because it's not just the adults saying it, it's now coming from the kids too. So this is kind of that next step that we've always strived for.
So can I just add one other thing? So I would encourage Zoe to come back, because no matter what, you are our governor representative. I would encourage Zoe to come back, and if there's resources that she feels she needs, I think it would be great to have her come back and let us know her progress. And if you want to, Zoe, you don't have to. So you want to, that'd be great.
Zoe, did you want to tell them how you came up with that idea?
Do you want to tell us how you came up with the idea?
No. It's because she has an older sister who struggles heavily with mental illness. So.
Yeah.
As do so many kids.
Yeah, well, 30.3. I wrote it down because I didn't know that percentage. So, yeah, I would encourage Zoe to come back when she's got some momentum, and if she's meeting any roadblocks, to come and let the board know, because that's what we're here for, is to help with all of the mental health in all of the schools. So, thank you very much, Zoe.
Thank you.
I'm just curious how much is involved for admin to allow a school to do this, where, to a point where we could make it a requirement for all schools to give kids an opportunity to do this. It won't be just for you guys participating, but all the elementary schools will be required to participate and at least give the kids in the school an opportunity to do this.
I mean, honestly, a lot of the work falls on the teacher. Mrs. DeVoyd and I will come together every fall and we're like, all right, we're doing Kid Governor. Let's sign off on the paperwork and go through, what we need to, what's required of us. And really the bulk of the work, if Zoe were to win and be a part of this, the bulk of it comes after the elections. So implementing it within the schools, going to events, representing us as a school or as a district. So that's kind of where the more involvement would come into play. I've never experienced it, so I'm kind of excited. This is my first time going through it. We'll see. I mean, but to get it started in the school, I mean, a lot of it is a lot of work on the teacher. Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot before, and we've got the 20 extra days a year, which really helps because the 2 months, I would say, leading up to it, we started pretty much when we started school in August. We started talking about, there's 15 lessons that are about an hour long, and then they can expand depending on the discussion and all that, but it's a lot. It's a lot of research for the kids. They write their own speeches, they do all the research themselves.
It is a lot if she wins too. I have become, I like the page on Facebook and I've been reading through it.
It's a lot.
They are responsible for a lot.
Yeah.
So it is a big-
So is this a lesson in the 5th grade classroom, and then your 5th grade class elects a representative to represent the school?
So it's not a Rochester School District program, it's a civics program that, it's about government, we learn about state government, all the branches of government, and then they learn about what it takes to be a good leader, and we have 10. Out of my 19 kids, I had 10 kids who ran, and they were all so passionate. We had topics, everything from, bringing awareness to animal abuse, to, stopping smoking, to littering, to homelessness, food
Invasive bug
insecurity.
species.
And invasive bug species, that's right, that was really cool,
Very
yeah.
creative.
Yeah.
Very creative.
So, yeah.
When do you have to start, I don't want to say recruiting, but kind of looking for interested students? When do you start it?
Well, they kind of know about it ahead of time. Like Zoe, in 4th grade, the 4th graders came to the 5th graders' speeches last year, so they were really excited about it prior. And I don't know, I think right in the beginning of the year, I said, who would be interested, and 10 kids, actually we had more, and we had 11 kids, and then one dropped out, but 10 kids were all like super, and they were all good friends who were kind of knowing that they were going to be going against each other. So it was a great experience.
Go ahead, Matt.
Dr. Mahoney, MTSS stands for?
Multi-tiered systems and support. So, I'm sorry, I forget the acronyms some
Bring it
days.
to my level.
I know, my apologies. We get so used to using these every day, so I do apologize for that. The multi-tiered systems and support behavior piece, we have MTSS-A, which is the academic, MTSS-B, which is the behavior component, and that focuses on that social emotional wraparound piece, and really targeting the positive reinforcement behavior and encouraging that simple kindness and taking care of one another. So, well.
I can speak for, myself being a social studies teacher, this is a phenomenal program, and though I don't teach fifth grade, I'm aware of it, and, kudos to everybody involved, and to Zoe for being our representative, so congratulations. So, and good luck. So, any other comments or questions?
No, good luck.
Yeah, good luck to you. Be sure to come back and let us know how you did and what you learned and what you thought of the program.
We'll make sure that happens.
Yeah,
Yes.
And US News Report and World Report just recognized Maple Street in the top 40% of all elementary schools. So while they're here, just give them a little kudos for their hard work. Probably for programs like this where we get to honor our student voices. So thanks for your hard work. Thank you, Zoe.
Next item on the agenda is the CTE business partnership that we brought up at who's that? Building.
So I sent you this link, I think I sent you this link, which shows, they have all these drop-down menus so you can see the partnerships for each of the different programs. Michelle Halligan Foley keeps us updated. If you have any questions, I can bring them to her. I can have her come to a future meeting. She also shared with me that each partnership group meets in the fall with their respective topics, and then, or focuses the programs. And then in the spring, everybody gets together, all of the partnerships get together so that they're all at a meeting together and can network together to talk about how to support all of these programs in the CTE. They talk about what's new in the field, what are the different kinds of trainings that our students need to have to be competitive in these fields and these programs that they're involved in. So I don't know if you had any other questions or things you were looking for in this.
As I recall, this was part of our 5-year plan, and someone asked to have it on review. So there's opportunity for any questions if anyone has any comments.
If anything comes up, feel free to email me or call me, and I can make sure to get that to you.
And these are the ones just hosted in Rochester?
Yes.
Then not all of what's
Correct.
open to the
Right, because there are
students, because they can travel to
Yeah.
Dover. I guess Dover sounds.
I assume that Dover, Somersworth, other CTE centers have a very similar.
I believe so, yeah.
Structure.
Yeah, I believe so, because she did say also this, I think they're required to have 2 meetings a year, and that she said that they've really taken the lead, or we have in Rochester, and having everybody come together in March so that there's a real sense of everybody who's working together in the community, and that other area districts are looking at doing that same model because it's been so successful here, so.
I think I've been to that before. too.
Oh, good, yeah.
And it's really amazing to see all the community people and the businesses involved come together for that.
It's quite a list.
Any comments, questions, everyone good? Okay, next item is a 5-year plan. Reviewing, adding, subtracting.
Pulling it up, it's on our shared drive now.
Let's see, so we have CTE program partnerships with industries as our number 1, new math program, technology assessment, which is also, I see that on the, is that on the agenda here? There is some information on the agenda for technology. It's in the agenda. Not on the
Yes.
agenda, but in the backup.
Yep, that was the
So that-
information from CIC that was requested at the previous meeting.
Right. So I don't know if everybody, most everybody has their computers. In the backup was a listing of all the Promethean boards, smart TVs, smart boards, whiteboards, presentation things. The cost to replace those, should they fail. The Chromebook chargers, what they cost, what the Chromebooks and their chargers cost by school. Looks like this was the number of items that have been billed out, which I think someone asked for. I don't remember who asked for that, but someone asked for the amount that has been billed out for lost or stolen Chromebooks. And then the last one is looking forward to replacement costs. I don't know if anyone has any comments or questions about those.
The only question is, so are these, I can't speak, is this the dollar amount that we can expect in the budget going forward every year? Plus or minus anything that comes up?
That's a good question. I would assume yes. I can follow up on that.
Great.
So on the, oh, sorry,
Go ahead.
on the breakdown, so, sorry, I'm just looking at it now, is there, so
Which one?
on this, it looks like the Chromebooks, chargers and payments.
Okay.
2021, the payment to present. So is the total that they've charged, I guess I'm looking for more.
There's a total charge, total paid.
So in the last, from 21, 22, and 23, they've charged 8,600, and it's really hard to read.
8,681.
And they've only received $2,762. Do we know why they haven't been able to recoup? Like, is somebody just not paying? Is somebody in charge of that? Are we sending out bills? How many times do we send out a notice? I mean, those are information that I think, I mean, that's $6,000.
Like what the process is for trying to collect.
Yeah, I mean, I guess my question is, from what I was told at the high school, you can't walk if you don't have your bills paid. So are these elementary students, are they just not following that money? Again, I'm not saying I agree with not being able to walk, because you owe for it, but that's our policy. So I guess I'm just looking for why there's so much that owed, and is it just because it's recently and we just haven't collected that money yet? I would like to know where the 6,000 is, pretty much.
Yeah, and it looks like it's mostly middle and high school, mostly high school. So I can certainly check with them and see what their process is for trying to recoup that money. And like
Yeah.
you said, how often does it go out and who does that kind of thing?
As I recall, I forgot who mentioned it, but they said that there was a bill that goes out, but it's just a bill. If there's no consequences other than not allowing them to walk if they don't pay it.
Well, I guess that's my question. Is it freshmen that owe this money and we're gonna recoup it when they're seniors? Are they just not realizing to charge them when they're senior? You know what I mean? I guess
Right.
that's the question is, if we could even, I mean, especially even if it's too much, if you focused especially on high school, because you're right, there's 107. So if you focused on the high school and said most of these were freshmen and we just, again, we're human and we're overworked and understaffed, so it could just be human error and they just forgot to keep charging. But I think to know what that process is, that's $6,000 of taxpayers' money. I think we need to know where it's going.
I'm guessing it's across all grades, but until we find out for sure.
Right.
Go ahead, Jim.
So, they lose their Chromebook, that means they can't even do the schoolwork, and if we don't give them another one, correct them. So how are these kids that lost their damage and that haven't replaced them, how are they getting their work done when they need their Chromebook? Mainly at the high school.
I know that my son damaged his and they gave him a loaner.
Okay.
I think they do give
Yeah.
loaners, that's my
You
understanding.
can't take away their faith, unfortunately.
No, I
You know what
understand
mean?
that,
Yeah.
so, but does the loaner, I'm guessing, doesn't go home and they get to keep the loaner as well?
No, it usually stays, they sign it out in the morning and it stays in
Okay.
school.
Any other comments or questions? Go ahead, Sam.
Matt, I'm just curious, whose responsibility is it to go after this money?
Good question.
Do you, is it principals or is it CIC?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I think
Yeah.
a lot of it, you know, as at the end of the school year last year, I know that as I was coming in, I was CC'd on emails and things like that, where they were trying to collect, but I can figure out who's at the lead of that.
The only question around the graduation, I knew they did get their diploma, but could they still walk? I wasn't sure whether.
They get their diploma, because you can't take it away from them,
But
but
they
they
can't
can't
walk.
walk.
Okay, I always got that confused.
Sorry, yeah,
I just wanted to make sure.
yeah, you can't take
Couldn't
their,
remember if that was right.
yeah.
It's just 2 years worth of.
Almost 3.
Yeah. No, it would be spring of 21. Yeah, 21, 22, 22, 23, so 2.5.
2.5 years worth of charges.
So some of these people could be
Gone?
gone.
Yeah.
More than likely are.
Again, when you have a $60 million budget, I don't think 6,000 is a lot, but when you're also looking that it's not your money, I think it's just looking at the process. I mean, and, you know, Dr. Mahoney is here and she's saying, I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
And again, that's not, you know, you have to look at the issue and say, all right, who is responsible? And maybe everybody doesn't know, and so we need to design something that says, this person is responsible. But it's hard for a principal, they can send out a letter, they can do, but is it the IET? Is it the principal? Is it, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, and
and
Maple
it might
didn't
just
have any
be
last year,
figuring that
so-
out, yeah.
Look at the elementary schools, there's only 2 of them that have a charge.
Yeah.
So they haven't had to deal with it.
So I think it's just for us to know what that process is and how to do it. I'm assuming there's answers, we just don't know.
Yeah. I will find out.
Any other comments or questions?
Isn't it funny that elementary kids are the ones not breaking their stuff as the high school?
Well, they don't take it home.
Well, they do.
No, they
They
do.
do. My daughter comes home with hers.
Yeah.
So, and I missed last month's presentation from the IT people, but, so, educate me on the Eno boards at East Rochester. So, we've got 20 of those, the only place we have those is East Rochester, and I'm assuming when we built that, that was the latest, greatest technology, and that's why that went in there. So, I don't know. Again,
I do have a
Look-
little information about that one, because
Okay.
I have that question too. My understanding is that East Rochester did request or want those, and when they were up for the replacement cycle, or when they talked about replacing it, they asked that they were able to keep those. So that's why it's different than other schools and why their replacements come from their own budget, because that was a decision that East Rochester made.
okay, and I guess looking forward, in since this is kind of the 5-year, looking forward, the projections of building a new school, is this the route we want to go, or, you know, food for thought type of thing? It's always better when we could buy, or standardize across the district. Working conditions for teachers are standard across the district. And B, replacement across the district is standardized. But if that's, you know, if they could do a sales pitch on why those Eno boards are, East Rochester likes those so much, maybe that's something we go to or whatever, but.
So that was discussed last month, and we asked IT to look at it and say, if we did buy in bulk, what would that look like? And potentially telling schools and classes and teachers, this is what the district is going with, because if we can save money. So I think they were compiling something like that and looking into it and saying, once these devices, so if it's an Eno board or whatever it is,
Yeah.
once that device is gone, know that this is what the district is providing, so it was, I know you weren't here, so. it was brought up. Yeah, so exactly along those same lines.
Again, I watched the video, I just couldn't ask a question on video,
Yeah.
so I'm just, all up to comment. Thank you.
Any other comments? Do we know if IT is coming back to answer questions, or are we just,
They
Is
should
it-
come back.
do we have a need for them to come back to answer questions, or can they relay those questions we have?
I'd like to know where you get a 75-inch TV for $578, because I want to go.
That was the last price though. I mean, I would ask them to come back, because if we have questions, it's nice that they're here to be able to answer those questions, but, I mean, if they can't make it, I'm assuming they can relay that information. But it's always, yeah, it's always good to have them in case you have a question they can answer right away, instead of extending it 3-4 months.
Whatever the committee wants, you can ask.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
Is that okay? All right. So we can make that happen?
Sure.
Okay. Anything else under there? Okay, public comment. Publicly communicating false statements about people that defame them could subject the speaker to both criminal and civil liability in the state of New Hampshire. In that vein, statements made at public input or at public hearings are not immune from potential consequences for their words. Furthermore, the fact that the public body does not prevent these statements from being made does not excuse or endorse these statements. It just means that the public body, in this case the school board, both recognizes and respects the right to free speech enshrined in the First Amendment to our Constitution. Is there anyone from the public like to address the committee? Seeing none? We move on. Any other? Seeing no other?
Motion to adjourn, sir.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand that. Was that?
Next committee, your next committee.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
No worries. We are adjourned.